It has done wonders for learning.
Oklahoma's statewide cell phone ban is in full effect. Hear from a Norman family on the impact. Plus, a Starbucks near campus is closing. We're live with reactions from employees. And who caused a walkout at the United Nations General Assembly? This is OU Nightly.
Breaking news out of Tulsa, Sapulpa High School is on lockdown after a shot was fired on campus. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Colson Pocock.
And I'm Darby McCormick. Police say there was an altercation between two people near the Sapulpa football stadium. Police say that one of them pulled a gun and fired a shot.
Sapulpa police say that no one was hurt and the school remains under lockdown right now. We will continue to follow this story and keep you updated on our OU Nightly social media accounts.
High school students across the state continue to adjust to Oklahoma's year-long cell phone ban. It's been over a month since Oklahoma started its bell-to-bell no-cell policy, making students stay off their phones from the first bell to the last. OU Nightly reporter Julia Roberts is live at Norman High School with reactions and feedback on this new policy. Julia?
Darby, Colson, when this bill was first brought into question, there was a lot of pushback. Some worried about school security, and others saying that's their kids' property. I spoke with State Representative Jacob Rosecrans and his son Jonah, who attends Norman High School, to hear their take on how the policy is going. The message is clear. No phones in use during the school day. Tablets, laptops, and even earbuds are not allowed first bell to last, lunch and passing periods included. When state lawmakers put the ban into place, there were doubts.
At first, I was just like, a statewide ban's never going to work because I've never seen enforcement, but it did.
State Representative Rosecrans was on the fence about this ban. As a former teacher, he worried who would keep it in place. But 1 month in, his mind is changed.
If a state law helps you guys enforce your rules, I'm all about it.
One of Rosecrans' son, Jonah, is seeing a lot of pros and differences in a good way.
He started reading books. I'm not even kidding you. This kid hates reading.
But that doesn't mean he does not see any cons.
It has done wonders for learning. Like, I can see some of the kids that used to scroll on their phone actually learning, which is impressive.
But that doesn't mean he does not see any cons.
Let's just say someone falls down a staircase. It's not like there is a staircase, but someone falls down it. And the first thing they do usually is call someone, but you kind of like can't do that.
And in some schools, there is still a need for improvement.
Inner city, still some problems. There's still some problems just because it's just a different world, you know. Those kids are attached to their phones, maybe because that might be how they get around, you know, or whatever else.
Each district can decide how they want to enforce this policy, and starting next school year, districts can decide if they want to continue it. Reporting live from Norman High School, I'm Julia Roberts, OU Nightly.
Well, it's officially fall, but those warm temperatures are still out there. Parker, are these warm temperatures going to stay throughout the weekend?
Yeah, Colson, it has been pretty warm over the last few days, and those are going to kind of continue for sure. But right now here in Norman, we're looking at about 86 degrees and 87 in OKC. So it's been pretty warm across much of the central part of the state, and then across the state here, pretty much just seeing similar temperatures, 85 in McAllister, 86 in Woodward. So it's been warm. So there are the headlines I got for you here later in the show. A warm start to your October. We got some drought conditions that are going to continue, and those pesky allergies are going to continue on. So guys, I'll send it back to you.
Well, thank you, Parker. Earlier this week, Starbucks announced the closure of hundreds of locations nationwide, including the company's Campus Corner location. OU Nightly's Michael Buchanan is live at the Boyd and Asp location right now. Michael, why is the store closing, and how are employees reacting to the news?
Yeah, I spoke to several employees in the store behind me, and it's safe to say they're not happy. I spoke with one woman who said she'd been working for the company for 4 years, and she got 3 days notice that the store would be closing. She added that no employees know whether or not they'll be transferred or they'll get a severance package. Now, Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol said in a statement announcing the closures in stores where they don't see a path to financial stability or where the ability to create the environment customers expect. And apparently the Boyd and Asp location behind me met one or both of those criteria. Back to you guys in the studio.
Well, thanks, Michael, for that update. Coming up, controversy at the United Nations General Assembly. What events unfolded next?
And an incident in New York City occurs involving an ICE agent. Find out what happened when we come back.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over. Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together.
It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
We said we'd never give in to a meltdown.
Mariella!
Never leave the house looking, well, and never let them out of our sight. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
Several delegates walk out of the UN General Assembly in protest. Oliver Schaefer has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
A majority of state delegates walked out of the UN General Assembly just before Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu began his address.
Please, order in the hall.
Hours before his speech, the Prime Minister's office announced his address to the UN General Assembly will be broadcast live on loudspeakers aimed at Gaza from the Israeli side of the border. Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted by the federal grand jury. Comey is a longtime adversary of the president and is now the first government official to face federal charges in the 2016 investigation into whether his first presidential campaign colluded with Russia. Comey was charged with giving false statements and obstruction of congressional proceeding. An ICE agent has been relieved of their duties after shoving a woman into the wall and then pushing her to the ground. The incident occurred Thursday at an immigration court in New York City. ICE agent Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said, quote, "The officer's conduct in this video is unacceptable and beneath the men and women of ICE. This officer is being relieved of their current duties as we conduct a full investigation." Sinclair, one of the two major station groups that prevented Jimmy Kimmel from airing, is allowing the show to return to its ABC-affiliated stations Friday evening. Kimmel will now air in cities like Washington, D.C., and Seattle. Colson, Darby?
Thank you, Oliver. Coming up, a national championship competition happening just up the road in Oklahoma City.
Hear what inspires contestants to compete when we come back.
And fall's officially on, but those temperatures are saying otherwise. I got the rest of those details coming up after the break. And welcome back to OU Nightly. It has been a pretty warm day for sure. And although we've had some pretty cooler temperatures earlier this week, but today we've been pretty warm. Right now we're about 86 degrees here in Norman. And otherwise we got a pretty light breeze out of the south, about 4 miles per hour. Looking pretty good along Jenkins here and Highway 9. So across the state here in Oklahoma, though, current temperatures looking around that same mark, kind of that 80s, upper 80s like I showed earlier. It's still just going to be pretty warm for you today, that's for sure. You've been probably feeling if you were out to campus and had any classes today for sure. So that's going to kind of continue. Right now, we're not really seeing that much of a relief. But as we saw throughout much of the September, though, we did have that false fall at the beginning. We probably all remember that felt really nice. But as we've kind of gone through the last couple of weeks, it's been pretty warm. We've had some 90s here in September, and that's going to kind of continue as we head into the end of September and into the start of your October. We're going to be looking at some above average temperatures here across much of the state. So let me go ahead and show you why that's going to be happening. Right now, we have this high pressure system off to our east, and this is going to kind of just meander and kind of sit here, and that's going to kind of allow us to stay pretty warm here across much of the state. Now, and that's also going to kind of shunt away a lot of the precip chances that we have here in Oklahoma. So we're going to stay dry, and we're going to stay pretty hot. We do have some chances of that tropical system out there that might make some landfall off in the southeastern part of the state or eastern coast, but we're going to be pretty dry here in Norman, so not going to see a lot of precip for sure. And that's not going to help our drought monitor. Right now, we are in a bit of an abnormal drought, so not we're in the severe category just yet, but keep that in mind as we keep going throughout the next few days. Allergies as well, that's going to kind of keep those dry conditions are going to keep us in those high categories for at least weed and mold, but definitely if you've been feeling a little sniffly, that's probably why. Those guys are not going to be, they're going to be sticking around. They're going to be pretty pesky, that is for sure. 7-day forecast, though, looking pretty much the same. We got 80s across the board. It's going to be pretty nice for the most part, but again, we are supposed to be in fall, guys, but right now, it's not looking like that temperature-wise. I'm really wanting those cooler temperatures. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing that this week's a bye week so we can have a little extra time for maybe letting the temperatures cool down.
Right.
But I'm feeling those cooler temperatures in the evening, but yeah, during the days, it's pretty hot. I can feel it.
I was outside all day this morning. It was not fun. I forgot my sunscreen, forgot a pair of shorts, and you need both of those. You need both of those whenever you're out in the weather this morning.
Yeah.
Well, here's the reason why I was outside, guys. Today was a big day for competitive firefighting in OKC. The Firefighter Challenge United States National Championship took place today, and after speaking with competitors, they want to put everyone on notice that this challenge isn't for the weak.
The brotherhood and sisterhood of this keeps me coming back because it's such a special event. It challenges not only your department against another department, but it challenges you against yourself, not necessarily the other competitors. This competition will humble you very quickly. You see the videos and you watch it on TV and you think, this is pretty easy. I could do this. And then you come out and do it and it puts you in your place.
And don't leave just yet because it's time for Big Friday Sports.
Stick around for a John Mateer injury update as well as how the team is feeling about Michael Hawkins Jr. on this bye week.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
All right, look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Hello, I'm Kevin Daniel. Beside me is Elle Gedman, and it's time for sports. Thanks for watching Big Friday Sports.
We have lots of exciting news in the world of Sooner sports, starting off with an update on OU's QB1 John Mateer's hand surgery that has the attention of the entire campus.
Absolutely, Elle. Following Mateer's thumb surgery, Oklahoma Attorney General Gitner Drummond posted a commendation for Dr. Stephen Shin. Drummond recognized Dr. Shin's success this week, stating he, quote, earned the gratitude of Sooner fans far and wide, echoing Mateer's statement, calling him the GOAT. OU Nightly sports reporter Peyton Davis has more on the next man up. Peyton?
Material World is out, but Hawktober is in. With John Mateer recovering from hand surgery, Brent Venables has announced that sophomore quarterback Michael Hawkins Jr. will be stepping in. While Hawkins hasn't started a game this season, the team is confident in his abilities to show up and show out.
I think that with the new staff we got and the new quarterbacks coaching we have, like, he's really developed really well, and he's taken this whole time, just like off-season stuff, to really learn from John, and not just John, but like Coach Kuz and Coach Arbuckle, to like really develop himself into an even better quarterback than he was, to being able to start his freshman year to now. It's like a huge jump. We're confident still with him. Like, we never wavered. Like, whenever we got told the news, we were like, all right, Mike, it's your time to shine. Like, let's do it. Let's ride.
He just looked comfortable, man. He looked comfortable in the pockets. It's like he trusts his O-line, so he's not quick to run. He's going to deliver them passes. If he scrambles, he's looking down the field to throw it. But, you know, he can also use his feet, too, as well. So that's a great thing to see. But just a dual-threat quarterback, man, it's great to watch him and great looking at him. It's not really that much of a change, you know, because we've been with Mike also. Even, like, Mike will get with the ones a lot before he even. So now it's just time just to take it to the next level.
OU football is on a bye this week, but Sooner fans can see Hawkins back in action next week versus Kent State right behind me on Owen Field. Reporting for OU Nightly, I'm Peyton Davis.
Thanks, Peyton. Hey, Michael Hawkins Jr. beat Auburn last year. OU beat Auburn 24-17 just 6 days ago, yet they're still salty about the game last week. On Twitter, Auburn Athletic Director John Cohen says that he is extremely disappointed with the officiating this past Saturday. This is referring to the SEC saying the officiating crew failed to identify a hideout tactic on Oklahoma's second quarter touchdown. That's one grumpy Tiger. And those same grumpy Tigers will head to Kyle Field tomorrow to face number 9 ranked A&M. Meanwhile, Ole Miss hosts the LSU Tigers in a heated SEC ranked matchup, and Lane Kiffin says to take the over.
Yeah, Kyle Field known for its environment, but how about the energy of a whiteout in Happy Valley? Number 3 Penn State is hosting number 6 Oregon, and then heading eastbound and down. How about a rematch of a thriller last year? Number 5 Georgia playing number 17 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide between the hedges.
That's enough college ball. Let's talk about the guys on the big stage. The Seattle Seahawks headed to Arizona to face former Sooner QB Kyler Murray and the Cardinals in a big bird battle. And this was quite the Thursday night matchup. After being down pretty much the entire game, the Cards snuck up with a late fourth quarter comeback to tie it up, but then lost on a 52-yard field goal, 23-20 Seahawks.
Yeah, with the bye week, Sooner fans may be living in fast forward until Sunday when 2 Sooner greats go head-to-head. How about a couple of words to describe this one? Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, must-see TV. While the two never faced off in college, they played 4 times in the NFL. Baker leading that series 3-1. The Eagles and Buccaneers will kick off from Tampa at noon.
And it's time for everyone's favorite segment. Let's hop in the Huddle with Hunter. Where our very own Hunter Cornejo talks all things high school football. Take it away, Hunter.
Another week, another huddle with Hunter, with more Thursday night lights in the Oklahoma City Metro. It's the first week of district play for teams across the state, with the U.S. Grant Generals hosting the Southmore SaberCats. Spoiler alert, the Southmore band will have the fight song on repeat. SaberCats line up in the Wildcat, looking to add on to the lead in the first quarter. Mason Heathington runs right through the Generals into the end zone. 20-0 SaberCat lead. Here's something you don't see every day. Generals forced to punt, high snap, and the punter waves the white flag, just kicking it through the end zone for a safety and a 10-yard penalty. Second quarter, Southmore quarterback Taven Hayes with the quick swing pass out to his brother. The freshman, Tucker Hayes, turns up the celebrations. Cool moment for the siblings. SaberCats dominating this one. Approaching halftime, the Generals still trying to establish some sort of offense here and back to pass. Quarterback looking for his receiver, and he's going to be picked off. It's linebacker Andrew Eagle swoops in and trots into the end zone. It's 49-0. Start the running clock for the remainder of the game. Southmore picks up a statement victory, defeating the Generals 57-8 to improve to 3-0. Some more good high school football tonight. Might be a preview of a 6A1 state championship. Recent OU commit Caden Penny and the Bixby Spartans take on Katie Jones and the Jinx Trojans. The defending 6A2 champs Choctaw, with Oklahoma offer Titus Hawk at tight end, hosts the Piedmont Wildcats. And five-star Oklahoma commit Cooper Hackett and the Fort Gibson take on the Wagner Bulldogs. The Elgin Owls, riding a 17-game win streak, host the Woodward Boomers. Plenty of games to keep up with. Kevin, L, back to you.
Thanks, Hunter. Big news for the Crimson and Cream with those commitments.
Yeah, Kevin, speaking of big news, we aren't done talking Sooner sports and beyond. Stick around to hear the latest thoughts from the Thunder GM. You won't want to miss it.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/act now.
Well, while the Sooners are on a bye week this week, well, we're going to be looking pretty good for any outdoor activities for your weekend right now. Norman will be, or on your Saturday, will be 87 degrees, and otherwise it's going to be a pretty warm weekend. So, guys, I'll go ahead and send it back to you at the desk for the rest of sports.
Thanks, Parker. Welcome back to Big Friday Sports. Glad you stuck around. There's still so much to talk about.
Yeah, Kevin, unlike Parker's weather, I heard Thunder rumbling. OKC Thunder GM Sam Presti says his team is ready to play after taking the title and says it won't be easy winning it back-to-back.
It's very, very, very hard to win. One time. It requires a combination of positioning, execution, and you need randomness to fall in your favor. With that in mind, we're not looking to imitate ourselves or get tied down to what has worked in the past. That's really never been the way we've approached anything. It won't be how we approach this season. And if we are to stack another successful NBA season next to last year, it won't be with the same exact formula.
Number 12, South Carolina women's soccer heads to Norman tonight, and the Sooners need to be on their A game against the Gamecocks. OU just fell off the rankings after a rough 3-0 loss to Vanderbilt, and they have yet to score a first-half goal in conference play. Can the Crimson and Cream get their mojo back by rocking the Gamecocks? Kickoff is at 7 p.m. tonight at John Crane Field, and there will be corgi races and pups at the pitch.
Yeah, we're talking about some dogs. OU volleyball begins conference play tonight in McCaslin Fieldhouse against LSU. It's the Tigers' first trip to Norman for volleyball since 1991. Then on Sunday, OU hosts a matinee matchup against Ole Miss, who haven't played in Norman since 1993. And hey, since we're throwing things back to the 90s, 2025 is one of only 6 seasons since 1996 where the Sooners had 2 or fewer losses in non-conference play. For perspective, that was the last time the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl.
And big news in the cross-country world, both the Sooner women and men have lots of running to do this weekend. The men are just up the road at the Cowboy Jamboree in Stillwater, where BYU came out on top. Meanwhile, the women are headed to the Nationals course. We were lucky to have 2 cross-country guests in studio during Sooners Sports Pad on Tuesday, and they can tell you about it better than I can.
The women are going to Gaines Creek, which is the Nationals course, and I think across the board we have all teams representative in all conferences, so I think just going out there and making a statement, because this is our first real competition, and I think we have something special building for OU distance.
Moving to the courts, OU tennis is done with qualifying for the ITA All-American Championships. For the men, of the 7 Sooners sent to Tulsa, 3 advanced to the main draw. Luis Alvarez and Oscar Lasides play in the singles draw, with Bruno Naveen joining Lasides in the doubles. On the women's side, Sathik Amweng represents the Sooners in singles action with Gloriana Nahum and Rosine Galaney. They'll play in doubles.
And after a back injury scare, Chicago Cubs manager Craig Counsell says that former Sooner Cade Horton feels good and expects to move forward for pitching next week. He played catch in the outfield today, and it looks like next would likely be a bullpen sometime in the next few days.
While college basketball doesn't start until November, Porter Moser's former school, Loyola Chicago, will take the court without longtime chaplain and superfan Sister Jean. She's an icon of the Ramblers' 2018 trip to the Final Four, but at 106 years old, Sister Jean's retiring due to health reasons. Well, it was an exciting day in the Sooner sports world. Thanks for watching Big Friday Sports.
We will see you next week, same time, same place, after the Sooners rest on this bye week. Have a fun and safe weekend. Thank you for watching OU Nightly.
Water is our most precious resource.